Okay. And good morning. Thank you all for being here. Okay, we'll start out with a little bit of the bell meditation. Sit easy. Okay. If your meditation turns into my ankles hurt, my knees hurt, right? So if you want to sit deja, feel free, but okay. And eyes open, eyes closed, it doesn't matter. Okay, depends on your style, so to speak. Ready? Okay. Everybody up. And okay. One of the things I kind of like to do a little bit, you know, right? Let's just say there's wind. And the wind kind of swirls the leaves around. Okay? Now, a lot of times what we do is we kind of see the leaves being swirled around. It's the wind that's moving the leaves. No wind, no movement in the leaves. Okay? Right? I hear it swirling up. Here it's kind of, it's kind of whistling around the ankles a bit. Okay? So it's a shift. Some of the bell, for example, you start to hear the reverb. It's kind of like the wind moving. Okay? But we don't see movement in sound. Okay? So I'd like you to do a little bit, just from where you are. There are currents around. Now, there are going to be leaves moving in that current. Leaves moving in that current. The leaves swirl, they kind of can rise, they can fall, they can, right? Okay, good. Now, I'm in a very dense place. Energy, leaves. That's energy moving. So what I'd like us to do a little bit, wherever you are, there's energy moving around you, through you. Again, I may, looking at the wind now, the breezes, there are leaves. Okay, so, okay. They go this way, they go this way, they go this way. Right? So I'd like you just to kind of experiment with that. I'm moving the body. No, but the body, it's moving along with the wind and the leaves. The mind is there kind of open, very, very relaxed and easy with things. It doesn't interfere out there. You let the wind move. Let the wind move the leaves. It's almost like your body's kind of like a part of the wind and the leaves, okay? So the heavy world comes in, you're ready for it. Okay? So let's just pair up. We're just going to experiment with that feeling of being kind of free with the energy, okay? Well, what I'd like you to do a little bit, look you and see, in other words, we're localizing it, okay? No, that physics expression, non-local. Okay, this is local. This is non-local. One way of talking about the universe. The universe is moving too. Yeah, the two of us are kind of, we're part of the universe moving, right? Go right about here, for example, that movement. Over here, or that motion. Just anything right there. Non-local. We're all the center of the universe. You see that feeling a little bit? So open it up a bit, okay? Yeah, yeah. Now, what I want you to do a little bit, there's that expression is local, non-local, non-local. Wada Sensei, you know, one of my favorite teachers, still going apparently. He went on his music class. I never thought think of Aikido as Japanese because those Sensei talked about the universe so much. Okay, now here we are, local. The universe, it's too big. Non-local. Non-local means what? Right here, right now is going on everywhere in time and space. We're part of the universe moving. Part of its aliveness, its intelligence, it's whatever it is right here. And whatever the technique happens to be. The wind swirling, moving, non-local. Okay? Okay, that's a little different way of looking at it. I think universe, they get too big, too abstract, can't hold it. But it's non-local here. Come on, man. Good. Right? Okay? Okay. Yeah. One of the things that we're kind of playing with a bit, local, non-local. Non-local is a term physicists use, and some people that are into like consciousness use, like Deepak Chopra loves the term non-local. Okay, for example, let's just say we come out here and you know, this is local weather front. Yeah, we're both in the same weather pattern. This is non-local. Whatever weather pattern is going on here local, when you think of the universe, you know, since they said become one with the universe, okay. It's kind of thinking and being non-local. It's local. Local. I'll make her a Republican and I'll be a Democrat. We're just going to go at it that way. That's national. You know, we both share the same country here, right? So what this is about, you know, on some level, it seems like a fantasy. It's shifting our consciousness. You're a fascist, you call me a fascist back. It's not going to, who's going to win the House? Let's remember, we're a nation. That's national thinking as opposed to party thinking. There's gender thinking, right? Supreme Court does something really dumb, okay? You don't have to be a woman to go, you know, that's really bad. But here, she and I are feeling the same weather front. It's going to be hot this afternoon. But in the universe itself, okay? So I just want you to play around with, okay, local, here we are. Too big. I think about the universe, I get too big and kind of space out. But I can say, okay, non-local, whatever's going on here is a part of everything going on. In that way, I think if I had to ask Sensei, what would you mean by you know, the universe? He'd probably say the universe is the universe. But it's difficult to say, well, I'm one with the universe, or I'm in a very fantasy space, I'm one with the universe. But practically, the universe is energy movement. It has a perfect accord with itself. Right here we have a local weather front, but boom, boom, boom. And so when you can make that shift from local to non-local, your energy level is boosted. Okay? What we need more than anything else is a figure who can talk to progressives and conservatives and MAGA people and everybody and just say, you know, we all come out of the universe. Okay, so I just want you to, again, play with local versus non-local. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to ever make it to the universe, you say, but right. Open. Not oppose. Locally, I want a fighter for the parking lot with the shade in it. Easy, non-local. Let's share things. Get along. You know that feeling a bit? Okay? Let's change partners. A little bit of, start it on the ground a bit, just to, yeah. Yeah, for example, if we were to, you know, we can, you know, go this one. Okay. Oh, this one. I'm practicing Shiho Nage.
Hey.
Yeah. Energy moves this way, right here and throughout the universe. It moves in spirals, it moves in yin yangs. So, you know, just non-localizing the movement. Well, since I said, you know, Aikido is about creating the world family. Well, this world's a mess, okay? It's a real mess right now. You're a fascist? Well, I'll call you a fascist back. It's like, okay, all right. We're right about you. So when we go into non-local, we open. Our energy moves, and it's almost like the energy of some portion of the universe starts to localize around us because we're non-local. Right? Whatever the movement. Now, Do-sensei, you know, again, O-sensei told him, he says, no, Do-san, it's so easy. But I can't give it to you. You know what I mean? What happens here, it gets so dense. Okay, so, nice little breeze here. Now it's blowing breeze back. Okay, all right. And feeling, you know, it sounds almost like a fantasy, but there's something where we start to broaden our consciousness a bit. You see what I mean? And, you know, I got key and everything, but it's a dense key.
Yes.
And so, you know, whatever the movement happens to be. Local, non-local. The shift of consciousness, right? And the other thing, there's a famous Mado story. Well, essentially, I want to do Aikido like you.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. Nobody else seems to want to. You do? Great. It's so easy, right? I can't give it to you, right? Because you get caught up in the dense world. Get caught up in the density of it. You know, and of course, you know, it's just in a fantasy trip. No, it's not a fantasy. That's the other thing. The universe is going on right in this room, right in this pairing, right? And it has a harmony with itself. Has an accord with itself. Perfectly here, but that's the. If you come in with a striking motion, if you come in with a striking motion, it has a perfect accord with itself. And if we could kind of do that and share it with the world, it would be a better world.
Yes.
You know, that's Aikido's mission, actually, right? Okay, anyway, keep going. Do it seated, though. Yeah, yeah. Now, what it is a little bit is if it's local, it's personal. Non-local is not personal. In a good way. If I localize it, it's personal. If I non-localize it, it's not personal. Hey, we're in this together. You know, the universe goes blip. Okay, we go with it, don't we? We're both in it. And it has a harmony with itself, has an accord with itself, doesn't it? Come on, yeah. You see, I mean, I think that this great secret that everybody kind of clouded with form and politics. It's really funny. Yeah, we got it. That's okay, you know. But, come on, come on. The universe is going on right here. The universe is going on right here. And it has a harmony with itself. It has a loving side of itself. You see what I mean? Yeah. And if we... Just shift. I think a lot of it, I mean, is a point where it's not so easy to shift. We're in this dense world. I'm going to take it personally. But it's a shift from local to non-local. That's kind of what it is. Come on in. There's enough love for everybody here. There's enough harmony and beauty for everybody here. We don't have to. And when that's not there, we have power struggles. You know, and it's a very dense world. You know. So here we're saying, yeah, that's part of it, but not all of it. Okay? Got it? Go. The context of it. That's that thing, right? We had a little bit of a discussion here when we started talking about Nado Sensei's class. And I said, well, the only one that actually shows up is Andrew. And he's the only one, so he kind of makes the dojo look bad because nobody else is there. You see the context of it?
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want you to get you. That's what I'm saying. The context of it was not clear. You're the only one outside of me that's on that show. It makes us look bad, but I can't tell people. Tune in. You see what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
That's my
Donald Trump calls me an idiot. Well, that must mean I'm pretty smart. You're right. In the context of it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, everybody up. And so local versus non-local. Okay, I think it was 2018. We took a group to Kauai. Right, that was the last trip we made. Okay, we haven't done it since then. And so we were training out, you know, there was low tide, you know, because you can kind of learn a lot from the ocean. And what was interesting was it seemed very still where we were. But if you stuck a staff in there, into the low place that we were, the movement of the water would form a circle around it. And so, you know, the other thing is I had one of my 3-section spears, so I stuck the 3-section spear into the water. Instead of a circle, it formed a spiral. And the realization I had was, you know, just this simple act is changing the ocean. And so guess what? You're ankle deep in it. The water is going this way. You're changing the ocean too. We don't think that way, but you know, I sort of suspicion No Sensei did. Okay? Well, locally, there's nothing going on. I got my feet in the water, and we're practicing some Aikido movements in the ocean. This is kind of cool. But just the presence of our bodies in the body of the ocean is changing the ocean and is operating according to certain things. Right? So one of the things we're saying a little bit right here, local, non-local. And a lot of this is a little bit like, she's going to grab. It's like, okay, this. Wind is swirling. But you see the leaves moving. No wind, the leaves would just be lying on the ground. So I think a lot of what Sensei was trying to tell people, there's this Budo here that's important. But more important than the Budo is the shift in consciousness. Said things like create the world family. What does that mean? Well, I got my family and screw you. I got the people that are in my world, and the world is bitter. It's a dense, stupid place. And this is what's important to me. If you're thinking non-locally, the world's one family. We all come out of the universe. Okay? The other thing Sensei said is, you visualize a stream, all the rocks, everything. How many different currents are in that stream? But the stream has a unity with itself as a stream. It's a stream. It has all these subcurrents and everything in it, but it's a stream, isn't it? So why shouldn't the universe be that way? She grabs. I got a localized problem. I'm going to deal with it locally. I'm going to think non-locally. Right. Non-local. Okay? So that's a shift. It's a shift in consciousness. Now, when I'm in that non-local place, I'm not so threatened by local politics. Hi. I'm easier. I'm less going to react to things and more like be a little bit more, boy, this is beautiful flow here. So many possibilities here, just like so many streams in that so many currents in that stream. So the non-local versus the local. Locally, she grabs my wrist. It's a dense, heavy world. Non-locally, there's a little things flow. So let's do the basic blend in the Kokyunage. See, right about here, the leaves go back at him without knocking, it's not an aggressive action. It's like, as energy moves, okay? He can come in this direction and boom, flow with it going, he's part of the leaves going that way. In the process, he gets an exercise, his construct, local, starting to move towards a non-local one. Okay? That's Uke's job, by the way. We tend to identify as Nage, but part of it, non-local. Non-local. Boom. That's where the leaves went. Okay? That's a form, but on the other hand, how many streams of energy were there when I started to shift my consciousness from local, Shihonage, to non-local? You want to do Osensei's Takemitsu Aiki. My sense is you can't do it local Aikido. It's non-local Aiki. No separation. A unity factor that unites any two. Okay? Let's go through. What are we doing here? I think we're going this way. Yeah. And we're going that way. Okay? Different partner. This is like when you're having a really good day. You know what I mean? It's a little bit like, all of a sudden you sit up. I got to do this. It's like, oh. Right. Oh. So you can't be glad that your sister has cancer, but, I try to do it all the time. Oh, pocket of bad weather or semi-bad weather, but there's a whole universe going on. We're both part of it. And the universe is totally healthy. So let's kind of take ourselves in this condition, which is local, and non-localized. Too much stress is when we localize and personalize things. So I got to deal with that. No, not really. So, that's our big message for the world. Is to make the world one family. Guess what it is? It's just everybody thinking too locally. Non-local. Oh. And if we could hold that, we'd make it a better world because our energy would be good. Okay, I don't have enough energy to do that. Well, that's local thinking. I've got a local mess to deal with. But from a non-local place, you've got more energy. You can do more things and make more of a difference without. Okay? All right, keep going. Yeah. Now, what we're trying to do a little bit, for example, here, this is a local movement. This is non-local. It's a shift in consciousness. Well, since they told the docents, they said, it's so easy, but I can't give it to you. And the other thing was, you want to do Aikido like me, nobody else does. Yeah. Right? I think, since you obviously do a lot of training, but one of the things right here is come on in. He was, with him, I think the Aikido was about a shift in consciousness. Right? There's a universe going on that has an absolute unity with itself, a balance, a harmony. Okay, now we're going on in this local situation, but on the other hand, what if we were to shift our perspective from local to non-local? The universe is going on right here, right now, in this dojo and also with the partner at this moment. Good. It has an absolute harmony with itself. Come on. If you come in that way, then boom. And we're both in that event. I didn't win. We just looked at it from different perspectives here. If you come in this way, take it, boom. All right. Yeah. So when he used the term Aiki, he was probably talking about the fact that the universe is key and it's always in accord with itself. We're doing an extreme thing, like if you're coming in this way, okay, we go this way. And we go this way. That's a form, you come in this way, boom, boom, come in this way, this way. It's a form. But We're a part of the universe before we're a part of that balance it has with itself. And it's a very alive one. If you look at a stream, if you look at the universe, all the stuff that's going in it, it has an absolute accord with itself. Okay? The universe doesn't fight itself. It can create black holes, it can create novas, it can create great amounts of space-time and create a whole different universe at a quantum level. Okay. It's a wondrous place to be. We're walking around in it, we come out of it, we're pretty wondrous too. So if you're coming in this way, I'll think you can. Whatever the movement happens to be, and we're kind of localizing it into we call different forms, same thing. Oh. Well, I think they'll think that, one way of explaining it, we talk about kami a lot, but there's fire, there's water, and there's a perfect accord with each other. Aikido, right? So if we could somehow start to just go, okay, yeah, I'm me, and all of a sudden, yeah, but I'm also, we both exist in the universe, therefore we both exist within that harmony and the core the universe has with itself, the Aikido. Okay? And when I'm here, it's a kind of personal or local or political, no, it's too small. Now, taking that in the world and getting the Republicans to tell the truth, whatever it is with that, I don't know. It's crazy right there. But it's got to start somewhere. I have to be Stephen Curry here. He does that so well on a basketball court. Just like that. In a lot of ways, I'm not doing that. It's just the universe is in accord with itself. You have an accord, this taps into the greater unity the universe has with itself, and therefore we create a movement together. Right? And it's creative, it's not destructive. It opens everybody's consciousness up. We think better thoughts. Locally, things improve because all of a sudden we're not thinking like that. We're thinking, oh yeah. Or we even think nationally, things get crazy, but okay. Universally, I have to kind of do that. And there are other dimensions, the personal, the group, the community, the state, the national, whatever it is. Through all that, there's a non-local of it. But I think the universe is too screwed up. So, the non-local factor. That's what Kyoto says. So everything is non-local. This will tell you that. There's no here and there. Okay? Everything, we're all just empty space, subatomic particles moving. We're more complex because we're biological matter. Very complex. So we create local, personal, so if we go in any direction here, there's energy, it moves. Okay, somebody else. Is Paul okay? Did something happen to Paul?
Yeah, I don't think it's doing too well.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway. That sort of thing, that's an infusion of energy, right? Like I remember what happened, Dead. Seth Curry joins the Warriors. All right. My first thought, boy, they finally got somebody good. It's too bad he's on a dud team. Nobody will notice him. That was my thought. I thought, you know, this guy's really good. Nobody ever appreciated me having this stupid organization with a stupid team. But what was interesting right there, he didn't think that. He brought in new ownership. He brought in people who could bring in Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, saying people that were, assemble that team, right? He didn't think that way. I'm sure he probably went, oh my God, I'm with the Warriors. I wanted to be Johnson by the Knicks. But on the other hand, when he was here, he was cool. Yeah. And nobody would have noticed him when he was through. And the whole stupid Warriors situation. Locally, things are crap. I don't think locally. I think non-locally. Okay? Now, how to shape that into a political philosophy or something like that. You just have to be good at saying, okay, both of us are not seeing eye to eye here. Let's just non-localize the issue as opposed to localize it. But locally, what's your vision for the country? I'm too afraid that Trump will get me primary. Well, okay, I understand that. So you're not really saying those things about him. No, I'm just saying it because if I don't say it, he'll probably I'll get primaried by him. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay, I understand what's going on with this. Yeah, what can you do right here? You know what I mean? Because, that wouldn't necessarily change anything, but all of a sudden my attitude's changed as opposed to Lindsey Graham is a total ... He's like, yeah, I understand. You're afraid. You want to lead the house or whatever it is. Got it. Why do you want to do that? Wouldn't you rather be a part of a great country? We work towards that. You know what I mean? There's a point where, it's an area where we think you pro-party, you're not pro-national. Right? So, it's special today about Japan and how, basically they have really strict gun laws. And, we have about 1,000 times the number of gun deaths as they have. And they went and did a guy there that was, in America, and what he had to do to actually get a gun. I mean, they also went into other things like Switzerland. Everybody's got a gun, but the violent crime rate with guns is very low. It's seen as a sport, not so much. I don't have any superpowers, so I'm going to get an AR-15 and go out and police the world. Okay, well, you're not supposed to do that. Okay. So, there's an area where this is bad. I didn't realize there were paper towels up there. Huh.
I think they have just been washed, so they're being dried up there.
Oh, okay. All right. See, if it's just a philosophy, it passes through, and we have our good days, and then we kind of we forget the philosophy and stuff like that. But I think that Osensei's thing was more like transformation. So, what do I feel like, for example, if I'm a little bit more on the non-local side? Much more open. My breathing is a lot more rhythmic. I know there's a lot of junk going on in the world, and it's still going on in this noisy mind place. But I'm kind of a little bit more present. The body's loose, feels good. My larger consciousness is much more open. I start going around what the noisy mind says. The country is really hopeless right now. But in the non-local place, everything goes in phases, and I watched, what was it, Infinity Wars last night. I didn't watch it. Well, I don't like that movie because everybody loses at the end and half the people turn to dust. But of course, it sets up. I really watched that game. I watched Infinity Wars last night. Things go light dark. It's very weird. When your consciousness is fast against you, this is what you get. Now, additionally, we have issues that nations don't have. They have guns too. Guns are power. I don't want to give up my power. So I'm going to have a gun. I'm not going to have a gun. The local way of thinking is a conduit for incredible power of in place. No, that doesn't mean that if you see somebody out there with it to look bad, run to cover, hide, whatever it is, maybe we would pick that up. Because we're just going to let you know off. Neighborhood, you say a lot of that stuff is scary. That's saying their friends come down. Yeah, that's part of the reality. But what's somebody buys a gun because they want power, and they're being pushed and faster, crazier, crazy. With that gun. Everybody here has a tremendous amount of power. It comes from the unit. And the says, this love it. And it's powerful. There's a beauty to it. Intelligence behind it all. And to some degree, I think it just started to conscious, local to non-local. Okay. I remember when the Warriors were a joke. I used to wear my t-shirts and people make fun of me. They don't do that anymore. The consciousness shifts around something. It changes a lot of things. I used to go to the guy and watch basketball. Everybody was trying to be athletic and doing stuff that was nothing. And good. Instead, get more exposure. People started to be on the dribble. It took about 5 years for that shift at the local law. Things can change. Okay? So part of, I think, what I'd like to do is get people to shift consciousness from to you're still you. But you have a personal sense of local. And, I'd like everybody here, if we were in the vicinity of somebody, something with a knee hand, a leg up. Okay? Not so often, but that would be. Because if you're in the harmony, you imbalance around you. But when you have imbalance with the energy mind, and tight those things get denser and denser, there's no end to that. Except, what we're running into centuries. It's individual power. You're watching a film, probably not superpower. You're going to get a gun. You're not going to be satisfied, but just a gun, you're going to want to 15. And then, I mean, our culture is, I mean, superhero movies, but I'm not going to necessarily buy a gun. I don't have to imagine what she was going to say buying a gun. You do well. It's around feeling in its variety, its unity, its self-expression, all these moves that came out of our base that was very clear and inclusive. So if we have what we're doing is we're kind of spreading the message of life. So let's everybody stand up. And we're here now. Option. We got this off. It comes from so we have an ability to dance with it. Call me that's pretty sick. Easier. One thing I think the universe is very easy to show. Potentially, even though there's black holes and stuff, it's openness. But there's a depth sense once we get out of the thinking. The personal is a more local philosophy. Right here, if I turn my hip, he punches me in the face. I'm stepping in the Shihon. Get a cut in the face, turn around, give him a hand back instead of fading something. You give us gravity. Be easy, let gravity. Okay. That way. Here. Yes. Well, if you turn the hip now, make sure you do your face. Come in, straight. Go all the time. Over his arm. Settle. You got the Shihon. That's neat, right? Appreciate it. It's a non-local place. That's your challenge. Okay, I'm going to Shihon. Non-local place. Okay, let's choose it and spread out. What are the things about the Shihon? I'm going to turn the hip. I got to twist the move on the hip. And I'm hit. I don't want to be. If I get hit, I'm going to shrink into a small local person. This is the way it goes. Call me a fascist, I'll call you a fascist. You know? So one here, for example. This is dangerous. Instead of kind of, we just turn the hip. Well, I'm going to twist the wrist and then turn the hip. Okay, I'm going to step, but what if it's so why don't I turn my face, take that step, and here, I'm going to change my angle because when you're not, you look out for that. Because that would be stupid to put her into the care and everything, but we're coming from a non-local. Doesn't mean I don't care about you. I'm local. It doesn't work that way. People don't get that. Everybody matters. If you're personal, local, you're right. All of a sudden, there's the acid. Yeah, we're in the country. There'll be some chemo. Along with the chemo, we're trying to sense of an or healing. That's all. The Warriors won a title with the one. Clay Thompson came back, horrible years of being hurt. And I said, you and Clay connected. Because we watched Stranger Things. We watched it together. So number 11, well, they call it L. They call it L, right? So 11. Clay was drafted in 2000. He has, where's number 11? And the 11th the draft. So the number 11, house 11 is kind of a sacred number. Yeah, but I told her, I said, no, at least so far, she totally free. Let's figure a conflict, right? But in terms of what from the large conversation, and we have because she's going to be a lot being visited, but that part right there, you know, the flow of the music. There's a situation. I can bring away from someone. But like that, doing all this, people can say, that's fine, nobody. And you know, if you look at it after these years, right, you get caught on all the local stuff, the technique, and it's important. But like writing, it's kind of come this too. I do rotate. Step. I got a shot at my face. I want to cover my face before I take. I got to take. You describe running from the non-local, you get kind of the fine points. If you keep being local, going on. Office, they're going to control the voting results, who they are, and what they stand. Otherwise, it's partially our fault if we neglect that. And these people get put in power where they can influence elections because Republicans are in a minority. There's no way to swing it. On top of that, you have people counting the votes. You don't want that. So you still got to keep your eye open. Fair, you gerrymander way out in that strength of numbers. Win, you're not going to win cheating. Huh? So, you know, speak. Okay? I don't break it up, but it's an important. Okay, this is important. It's called an opening here, all right? Okay. Now I'm going to start here with the face. So cover your face. Important. Now right here instead of trying, I'm just going to put it on your shoulder. And, okay? Well, this is an important one. You know, there's an opening here. Okay. So what if here and we turn the hip? Now I feel good and I step right into that. So I'm going to cover my face right there, but turn. That. How do you learn that that's important? Because you can think locally. I do Shihonage. like that, you know, and right here, like be wide open right here, and I could be wide open step like that. Like that. So I'm not telling you that, I'm just saying when you think non-locally, you start to understand what vulnerabilities are. And if you're too local, it just you become polarized. Right? Do I want Liz Cheney as president? No. You know, I mean, on the other hand, I do applaud her courage.
Yes, I do.
But no. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I don't like the way she said. Yeah, I like the fact that she said that. So you got to look at that and go, okay. Doesn't mean you don't look at the plan. Okay? Huh? Okay. Everybody stand up for a second. Okay, there's certain things that you know, for example, like non-local. There's certain things you pick up when you're non-local because when you localize, what you tend to do is just get caught up in the form. Okay, for example, we're going to do this, and this is a form, and I think it's a job, okay? On the other hand, I'm right here, he punches me, or if he doesn't do that, I do this, he punches me in the face. Okay, tell me a couple of things. What happens when you're non-local? Your mind is clearer. You look at situations, there are a bunch of people running for offices that want to control voting results. Okay, if you're a Democrat, and I'm going to make it political, watch out. There's gerrymandering anyway, but we have people in charge of the voting. Okay, that's a scheme. Now, I'm not talking about being political this way or that way. Republican, you don't want that either. You don't want lies, and you don't want cheating. So right here, where there's an opening here, you rotate the hip. And then right here, where I'm stepping into that punch, I cover my face. I'll turn around, and we got the okay? Now, I'm pointing out a couple of things that you know, I would call that corporate knowledge. You're going to come, you don't care if the janitors know this at all. You just want them to keep the office clean. Punch. Oh, you know, I'm on punch. Maybe you bump into a janitor and that janitor kind of glows or something. You pay attention, and then all of a sudden you start to talk corporately with that janitor, and he kind of goes, and all of a sudden maybe, you see what I mean? So one of the things here, corporate knowledge, turn your hip. Corporate knowledge, your face. Boom. And we're saying corporate knowledge is you non-localize your intelligence, sharpen, and you start to see problems in a different light. So let's go, let's do this. He comes Yokoman. That way. Never to turn over your face. Turn around. Okay? So let's switch partners and switch the technique to Yokomen. Okay? Are you feeling better?
Breakfast wasn't agreeing with me.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And when we were doing balls earlier, it
Yeah.
was just too much.
Okay, all right.
So I'm just kind of letting things settle.
Sure, yeah, that's smart.
I mean,
Smart.
yeah, I just was, breakfast didn't agree with me, so it's like I'm just. I usually don't have that problem. But,
What?
I usually have this problem, but.
We would put it the difference in the force.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. Yeah, one thing right there. Okay, now, Okay, now turn your hip. Oh, good.
Hey.
Turn your hip. Cover your face. Oh, see that motion?
Hey.
That. Both hands, not just one. Turn your hip. Okay, good. Now cover before you step. Okay. It seems really stupid, but seeing the movement a certain way, that's what it does. I get too caught up in the local politics. I can't see the forest for you're coming in that way. Boom, 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 boom. As you're coming in that way. Boom, boom, boom. Just to be non-local. Universe is in accord with it. Consciousness flow with that. Universe doesn't have a hole with it. So there's a harmony. Okay, so martial, that's important. I mean, just Shihon Aga, I'm just in this direction for, I'm going to do Tenkon, well, I'm going to step into your, what if I turn the hip? And right about here when I'm stepping in, I'm going to cover my face. All right? Turn around. And the table is almost set. It's just like, it's common sense, okay? Steph Curry is the ball. What do you think? The ball shot better than I can. And if he's covered, he passes. He's open because we're double teaming him. It's not going through the ball. I got to shoot it. No. 8 seconds into the shot clock, eventually I'm going to give him the ball. Him shooting from 40 feet is better than me shooting from 3 feet. Okay? You know, that feeling is just for a while. And it's not like, yeah, but I want my points. He'll give you the points because 3 guys are off. You don't have to worry about making a shot. He gives you the ball and try to get back to him. That's going with the flow. And what it is taking the team is more than well, as opposed to the. I don't want to give you the ball. I want to shoot it. It doesn't work out. It thinks we're transparent, but it's right. So think about rotating the hips and covering your face. You know, if you're gonna go here, say right about another 10 con. I'm not gonna. I'm still gonna turn my hip. I turn my hip. Now I'm gonna step in, but I'm gonna cover before I start the turn. Okay. It's stupid. You could teach this to a beginner, and they'll mess it up. I can't believe. Well, when you get advanced, you're thinking local Shihonage. And when you go non-local, so, oh, okay. Yeah. It's like a series of strobe images right here. Okay, I'm going to follow that. And maybe we'll get follow that. And then we have that motion. Yeah. So when if you come in, there's that motion. So I rotate my hip. Okay? There's a hole here, so why don't I turn my hip a little more? There's a hole here to settle in, like rain into parts like this. The technique then from that non-local place. I'm not thinking about the technique on you. Oh. It just surprised how things clear up because I'm not trying. And we're depersonalizing the technique because we are part of a unity. We're coming at it yin to yang. the same part of that universe with its unity with itself. And you grasp, there's a unity here. Right? And then I show you. And there's there's a way you move, like right there. And I'm gonna say, you punch me in the face right about there. Come on in. Good. For example, here, I'm going here, punch me. So right there, I turn my hip. You're coming underneath me, but right about there, I'm settled enough into the ground that I'm already going into the flow, the spiral flow of the Nityo. You see what I mean? Yeah. It's a good idea, you pinpoint that, but the most difficult thing is, getting that. You know what I mean? Because so personal, the Aikido is a way to communicate. Essentially said, this one family. We are family. It's just a dysfunctional family right now. As we go into the level, there's an absolute important universe of itself. We come out of that absolute unity. Getting harmony. So you and I have to harmonize with it. But there's a unity. Right? You and I have to harmonize. There's a unity to that motion, isn't there? We're both yin to yang, yang to yin within that. Doesn't matter if you come in this direction. It doesn't really matter. This way. There's a lot of energy that moves, and it moves in accord with both of us. And so, that local place, also, if you had to explain, it's just, but in a lot of ways, I think all he really wanted us to do was to, degree wise or personal thinking, be more non-local. But at any time the universe with its accord is going on, and we're going on, we kind of shift finer space with things, faster, more personal, more local. And we start to kind of breathe different, and our sense of the movements are very different. Okay? Anyway. Okay. Yeah. One of the things that's tricky is that, you can, how do you practice this? Well, in that sense, that kind of has this body. The body things are very local and personal. And there's Robert. And Robert is a little flexible. Okay. Then there's Nado. Some balance. Right. And there's Nado Sensei who's supposed to. Okay. So we a variety of different dimensions. If you get caught up, see what happens if you're embodied, things start to tighten up and spin faster. Weird body. So anytime you kind of easy settle, you're shifting. Easy settle. It's just a good practice. On local place, you're very easy there. You're very open. Kind of, you've got a nice, easy, flexible sense of ground. And I'm not exactly sure where non-local starts, but on a non-local level, it's more like a good day, as opposed to a okay day or a fair day, or a horrible day. When you easy, open, settle, we're sort of shift dimensions, right? Okay? And, if you were to ask me what I essentially meant by the floating bridge, your local sense And the center of it is a very balanced, open, settled version of you. You're still there. And a lot of times I don't realize I'm holding this or that. And so I'll settle with things. There's a transparency that you start to find. That's all it is. Transparency. In other words, if something bad happens, it doesn't stay that way until I just start to kind of self. Yin to yang, yang to yang. And so if I'm able to be easy with it, I go towards that transparency. See, it's not something where all of a sudden, it's not stuff like the vapors come. I think it's more like, no, easier or open me, where I feel more of things. And I don't create subject-object here when I don't have to. But on the other hand, I also have to realize that I can navigate the subject-object stuff because we need to. So a lot of times if there are obvious openings in the technique, you want to make sure that you know them. And oftentimes, from that, turning of the hip. Put you right back. The stuff is actually not that hard. What is hard is when we kind of get this way, then we get trapped there. And body goes to rear body, and we got a problem. Okay? All right. Okay, thank you.